welcome to another week of Outside the Ropes. I'm your host of Outside the Ropes, as always, Matthew Moore. A big thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Outside the Ropes, as always, and hopefully we'll get to entertain you for the next lot of minutes and fill you in with the latest news in the world of professional wrestling. First of all, guys, I want to give a shout out to everybody who sent us in emails over the past 7 days. Also sent us in some tweets on our Twitter account, which you can get in touch with us on @OutsideTheRope, and also on our Facebook account. Just search Outside the Ropes Pro Wrestling Talk Show. So guys, I want to say hello to you all and hope you're doing really well this week. Me personally, I'm doing okay. I'm in the studio once again on my own. No co-host again this week as he is away working again. So hopefully we'll get Tony back into the studio as soon as we can. So guys, what a week of wrestling, what can we say? It's been one of those chaotic weeks. Some great stuff that I want to fill you in with this week. Big news coming out of WWE this week regarding the Macho Man Randy Savage. Some news regarding TNA this week as well. Some other news regarding WWE pay-per-views, which is quite a bit of an interest as well. And of course the return this week of the segment that we all love, the Jackass of the Week segment, right at the end of the show as well. So before we get into any more discussion on this week of wrestling, I just want to give a wee shout out to our partners and friends. First of all, our friends at Wrestling's Past. Guys, are any historians of professional wrestling out there and you like to go back and check out all the old stories and archive photographs from the past? Wrestling's Past is the location. Go to wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk or go to their Twitter account at Wrestling's Past. You can get some cracking photographs there, guys, of maybe even photographs you've never seen before, but Wrestling's Past is your location. Also want to give a shout out to our friends at wrestling.ie. Professional wrestling right across the whole of Ireland. Anybody listening to us in Ireland, north or south of the border, wrestling.ie for all their information regarding their upcoming events. Also our friends at Pro Wrestling Ulster, who have a big show coming up at the start of next month featuring former WWE star Al Snow. Go to their website, prowrestlingulster.co.uk, for more information regarding tickets to that event in the Europa Hotel in Belfast. Okay guys, moving into this week's edition of Outside the Ropes. Well, what can we start? We'll start right from the top. WWE made the big announcement this past Monday night that they've announced the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2015. What can I say, guys? It's finally happened. They're finally inducting the one, the only, the legendary Macho Man Randy Savage. He has finally got into the Hall of Fame where he belongs, where a lot of fans have wanted to see Randy Savage go into the Hall of Fame for a long time now. Randy Savage is famous for his career in WWE and also in WCW. He had a little tiny run in TNA as well back in the day when TNA first started. Excuse me. But Randy Savage is mostly remembered for his career in WWE and also in WCW. Randy, well, what can I say, larger-than-life character, unreal star. Everybody around the world who knows who the Macho Man Randy Savage is, especially his first run, well, his one and only run in WWE or WWF back in the day, where he was a two-time WWF champion, former Intercontinental champion as well. He was also the king of the WWF as well. Remember, he was the Macho King. But yes, and also his run in WCW, where he went in to WCW when he left the WWF at the time. And then he joined the NWO, which he was the black and white Macho Man Randy Savage as well. The madness, as they say, goes back in the day. But yes, what an illustrious career Randy Savage has had. Some great matches throughout his career. His famous match with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, one of my all-time favourite matches. No question about it. Also his great feud with Hulk Hogan. An interesting feud that I enjoyed back in the day as well was with Diamond Dallas Page. So Randy Savage has had a tremendous career. I could talk about Randy Savage. It would probably take a few weeks of Outside the Ropes, as we are doing on unlimited time. But you know, to sum up Randy Savage, well-deserved Hall of Fame induction. Finally, the Macho Man is going into the Hall of Fame to join the greats. Now, the announcement has been made that he will be inducted by a fellow Hall of Famer. The one and only Hulk Hogan is going to be inducting Randy Savage into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, WWE are ecstatic to have Randy in the Hall of Fame finally. His brother, Nanny Poffo, as you probably remember him as the Genius, is really excited. I mean, there's been a lot of controversy with Randy Savage getting into the Hall of Fame over the last lot of years. People were saying that whenever Randy was still with us, he only wanted to go into the Hall of Fame if the entire Poffo family was inducted into the Hall of Fame as one. But obviously now the decision has been made that Randy goes in on his own. And in recent reports in the last few days that apparently his brother is extremely happy that Randy is inducted by Hulk Hogan as well. So we're really looking forward to that. We're about 2 months away to the Hall of Fame induction. I know a lot of people who are going to the Hall of Fame this year, and it's one of the Hall of Fames that I'm going to miss this year. Unfortunately, I can't go, but I'm looking forward to seeing it live on the WWE Network to see Randy finally go where he belongs, into the WWE Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Randy won't be there. As I know, Randy passed away in a car accident, which is, can't believe it's been that long ago. But Randy, I'm sure if he was still here with us today, would have given a really good speech, and would have had us all on the edge of our seat. What would he have said on the stage at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony? So big congratulations to the Poffo family, and obviously to the one and the only Macho Man Randy Savage, who will now go into the Hall of Fame. And you're all probably going to ask me, are you going to do a Randy Savage impression? I have got a bit of a raspy voice this week, guys. I do apologise, but normally I would do it. Maybe next week, once my voice clears up. I know, because I did get hassled by our production crew whenever I come in today. I hope you're going to do a Randy Savage impression, but I have had a sore throat the last few days, guys, so I do apologise. But I'll try and maybe do one at the end. How's that sound? But if I can't, I'll do it next week. But yes, a big congratulations to Randy Savage, who is going into the Hall of Fame this year. WWE TV this week, it's not a bad show this week. Interesting Monday Night Raw. We had the contract signing for the WWE World Heavyweight title match coming up at the Royal Rumble, which the contract signing ended very violently. I don't think there's ever been a contract signing where there's never actually had any confrontation. I don't think so. But it finished off where Seth Rollins curb stomped Brock Lesnar and John Cena at the same, in the same contract signing, plus Brock went through the table as well. So interesting scenes leading into this Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We hear all these rumours flying around that maybe Paul Heyman's going to turn on Brock Lesnar. We hear Brock Lesnar's deal's coming to an end, so we don't know what's going to happen there. So it's going to be an interesting match coming up at the Rumble. Was it 2 weeks away? 2 weeks from this Sunday. Which obviously we're near Sunday now, so it'll be a week this Sunday. But yeah, it's shaping out to be quite a good match, so I'm looking forward to that one. A lot of people have been questioning this and sending us in questions to outsidetheropes@yahoo.com about this match, coming up and saying, for example, Seth Rollins is Money in the Bank. He's also in the title match. Will he be in the Rumble match as well? So, for example, if he loses the title match, will he cash in his briefcase right away? And if he doesn't, will he go into the Royal Rumble and win the Rumble, go to WrestleMania? It's a win-win situation for Rollins, but we don't know what WWE's going to do. We just have to keep an eye on the product and obviously watch the pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Which a lot of people have been still mailing about the WWE Network as well, guys. Don't forget it goes live on the 19th here in the UK, but people have been saying the last few days that they'll be able to access it before the 19th. So if you can try it, go ahead and do it. Sign up, WWE.com. The network is £9.99, not $9, £9.99, and €12 for obviously Ireland, Southern Ireland. But yeah, if you can get access to it now, guys, go ahead. It's going to be it's a great thing to have, because we've had a lot of emails about it, because we did talk about it on last week's show. So yeah, the WWE Network apparently is available in some areas now, so get yourselves onto it, because it is a good thing to have, believe me, if you're a wrestling fan. But back to Raw this week. Things to do for Raw. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about it now. The Dean Ambrose segments with the psychologist. Oh, where can we start with that? I was laughing, and I was kind of like, okay, where are they going with this? But it was quite entertaining, where he was sent off by Stephanie to go and sit with a psychiatrist, I think it was, and it ended up where he had the psychiatrist in tears and crying, and I don't know. It was I'm not even going to get into it. It was good. It was funny. It was a good segment, I must say. But a lot of people disagree. But sure. We did send a wee question out to you guys over the last few days. asking you what was your favourite moments of 2014. Now, I know I didn't mention at the start of the episode again, me being not under the weather the last few days and stuff like that. I did forget to obviously mention it, but I will be answering your questions because we did have a few in on email, Twitter, and on Facebook, so I will get to that eventually. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I've still got your questions here. So, coming up this Friday on Thursday now, SmackDown, the return of Daniel Bryan to the ring. People are saying about the spoilers and stuff. Well, Daniel Bryan returns to the ring this week. That's all I can say. A lot of people are happy to see it, as we do read all our messages and our emails. We do obviously read through our Twitter feed and stuff like that, and our Facebook feed as well. A lot of fans are happy to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring, as am I. I'm happy to see him back. So he's back in the in-ring action this week. So I'm looking forward to seeing Daniel Bryan compete in the Royal Rumble. Still a lot of things going on backstage at WWE at the moment. They're saying who's going to win the Royal Rumble. Is it going to be Roman Reigns? Is it going to be Daniel Bryan? I don't know. They had a talent meeting, as I said last week. They had a talent meeting, and they haven't came to a decision yet what's going to happen. So, again, they might decide on the day of the Rumble. We don't know. Who knows what WWE have planned? Only time will tell. Guys, don't forget, the pay-per-view is next Sunday. Keep it going. Yeah, an orbit of news that broke yesterday, which is a bit interesting. Now, everybody knows that WWE announced that SummerSlam will emulate from the ITunes Spreaker in Rutherford, New Jersey. For what we've been reading yesterday, apparently the location for this year's SummerSlam is closing down, and WWE may have to relocate SummerSlam this year. Interesting. The ITunes Center is a great venue. Had some WWE events in it recently, especially the Raw after WrestleMania, where Ziggler won the title, and all different Raws and stuff have been held in the ITunes Center, and it's a good venue. It's a good New York crowd. Or New York, New Jersey area crowd. So it's sad to see, really, because a lot of celebrities now have been tweeting as well, saying that the place is closing down. So we'll have to keep an eye on that story for you guys and keep the news on our social media feeds and stuff like that, because is WWE going to have to move SummerSlam to another venue this year? We don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. It just broke yesterday, and I was sent a text by our head of production, Catherine, saying, "Did you hear that SummerSlam's moving location?" What? Are you serious? But yeah, SummerSlam apparently may have to move this year, so keep an eye out, guys, on our social media feeds and stuff like that, and other outlets as well. SummerSlam might be moving this year. Story that we didn't mention last week, excuse me, Kevin Nash. Now, a lot of you have heard in the news recently, Kevin Nash was arrested for having an altercation with his son. Now, WWE have Kevin Nash under a Legends contract. We all know that. But WWE have suspended Kevin Nash from his Legends deal because of the incident with his son. Now, they did announce on this week's Raw that next week there's going to be a Raw reunion where they're going to have Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Scott Hall on Raw. Now, there was, for what we've been reading again, that apparently Nash was supposed to be booked for that show as well. Maybe a bit of an NWO reunion on Raw next week, we don't know. But apparently Kevin Nash, well, is he done with the company? We don't know, because he sent out a tweet on his Twitter account saying that he'll not be back on television anytime soon. But he is currently suspended under his WWE Legends deal. So is Kevin Nash going to be back on WWE TV? Is WWE cutting their ties with Kevin Nash? We don't know. The Raw reunion, is this week, but we hear today that apparently the charges against Kevin have been dropped, and Kevin Nash, obviously no charges are going to be filed against Kevin Nash. So are we going to see now maybe a twist in this tale and see Kevin Nash come on to Raw this Monday night as a bit of a surprise extra to the Raw reunion? I hope so. I would love to see the NWO reunion on Raw this week. But again, we haven't heard any more on this. All we know is that the charges have been dropped against Kevin, and that he is, well, as we know still at this moment, he's still suspended under his WWE Legends deal. Again, we keep an eye on the story for you. If you want to find out more information, you can certainly dig around the internet and sure you can find some more. But the charges have been dropped against Kevin over this altercation with his son a lot of weeks ago, where Kevin was arrested, and I'm sure you all probably saw his mugshot online. I saw it, everybody else saw it. So well, I hope to see Kevin Nash back on WWE TV. And people do say, oh, he's done, he's old, he's not. But it's nice to see him pop in every so often and do a promo or, you know, do something, you know. So, not a big Kevin Nash fan personally, but, you know, it's always nice to see an old face drop in every so often. Okay, moving away. News that came out, which was very surprising. I only heard this yesterday. Apparently the WWE, now you may say to me, oh, you're behind the times. You know, I heard about this weeks ago. WWE have dropped the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber, and they're replacing it with a new pay-per-view called Fastlane. Now, Stephanie McMahon done some press conference, I think it was. I was informed that she explained why they dropped the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. One of the reasons why is because in most of the arenas now they have scoreboards above where the ring normally goes, and it's making life difficult for the production to hang the cage. Okay, fair enough. I think I actually enjoyed the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view when it first started. Now, obviously, it started the match itself started at Survivor Series in 2002. And then they turned it into a pay-per-view, which was kind of good because regardless if you don't win the Royal Rumble, you still are given like that extra opportunity to get into the main event of WrestleMania by winning a title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So the champion's not always guaranteed to be the champion after the Rumble to win the Mania because he has to defend his title in the Elimination Chamber, which I thought was quite a good concept. But WWE now apparently are dropping this, but Stephanie has guaranteed the Fastlane pay-per-view will deliver. What they're going to do with the pay-per-view, I do not know, but only time will tell again as we lead into Fastlane. Fastlane? Are they trying to like make it words like Fastlane to WrestleMania? I don't know what they're doing, but whoever comes up with these pay-per-view names is beyond me. In my opinion, and I've said this before, about a year ago, bring back In Your House. I'm old school, retro. I love the In Your House pay-per-views. I thought they were great, but they'll never bring them back. But if you want to watch the In Your House pay-per-view, guys, if you've never watched them before, go back and watch them on the WWE Network for only $9.99. Cheap pop. So yes, Elimination Chamber pay-per-view has apparently been scrapped. Now, well, here's some more news this week about Rock. The Rock apparently is coming back for G.I. Joe 3. Another big major movie role for The Rock. When we're going to see him back on WWE TV again, I do not know. I was kind of hoping they were going to maybe do something with him and Rusev whenever he returned to Raw a while back. But obviously we've heard nothing more about that, and I've heard nothing more about it either. I was always expecting maybe do a Rusev Rock match, maybe at WrestleMania. But my prediction, for what I was reading the other day, apparently Rusev is going to be facing John Cena very, very soon. And I said this to Tony and on the air many times, I think the only guy who's going to be able to defeat Rusev is going to be Super Cena. So there you go. So it looks like it's going to happen. My prediction is coming true. Yeah. Go ahead. Laugh. I don't care. But when it comes to that, there's always one guy on the show that always defeats. I mean, for example, look at the days when they had Umaga. He was the big undefeated Samoan bulldozer beating the hell out of everybody. And who was the one guy to beat him? Super Cena comes to the rescue. So yeah, for what I hear, it's going to be Rusev and Cena very soon. But back to The Rock. It's great to see Rock doing really well again. Another big major movie for The Rock, G.I. Joe 3. I'm looking forward to seeing his new TV show as well. I've watched a bit of that online. So yeah, The Rock's doing pretty good, but would love to see him back on WWE TV very, very soon. When, we don't know. We haven't heard nothing. We don't know when it's going to happen. Will he be at WrestleMania this year? I hope so. So yeah, G.I. Joe 3 for The Rock. Again, look for a trailer if you can. So I'm looking forward to seeing G.I. Joe 3. I watched The Rock's last G.I. Joe film and I thought he done a good job. A lot of our listeners say it wasn't that great. Some said it was a great movie. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I watched it. I went to the cinema to see it, and I thought it was a good movie. So, G.I. Joe with The Rock coming soon to a cinema near you. A lot of ECW fans out there have got some news for former ECW star Jason Knight. A lot of guys out there probably don't remember Jason Knight, but I do. I remember him vaguely. I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch ECW as much as what I used to, because back in the UK here, we didn't get ECW till like 3 o'clock in the morning on, I think it was Bravo, for what I remember. It was with Bravo, the old channel Bravo, back in the day, and it was like weeks behind. So for people who do know who Jason Knight is, news came out this week that he announced on his Facebook that he has been diagnosed with throat cancer. So everybody here at the show outside the ropes would like to wish Jason Knight a speedy recovery, and hopefully he fights the fight and beats the horrible disease of cancer. So we do wish him all the best in the future. He is on Facebook, he is on Twitter. If you want to send your well wishes to him, you can certainly do that. So former ECW star Jason Knight, he wasn't WWF for a while, he was an undercard guy, but he's mainly remembered for his run in ECW back in the day. So we do wish Jason a speedy recovery. Okay, some NXT news for you this week, guys. NXT, as you know, is on tonight, the rematch. If you're listening to this show after Wednesday, the rematch, Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville. So it's tonight. But away from that, NXT apparently are going to be holding events now starting March 5th outside of Florida, which makes me think that WWE are now trying to expand NXT as another brand, which is good. Don't get me wrong, I said this last week, I love NXT. NXT is phenomenal. I love the talent. Fresh, young talent coming in. Their matches are superb. It's always entertaining. You can't complain about a match. It's just so good. I love NXT. And a lot of our listeners love NXT. And a lot of people who I know love NXT. Guys who I've known that used to watch wrestling 10, 15 years ago are starting to get back into it again. And what brought them back into it again is NXT. So I hope they do more shows outside of Florida, because it's going to expand them more and get other guys, a bit of a break outside from the Florida area, give them more experience in front of other crowds as well in different towns and stuff like that. So yeah, NXT is going, for what I hear, are starting to expand a wee bit more, starting March 5th. So information again on WWE.com and also other news sources as well. Now I want to move away here to TNA. TNA. I heard this story 2 days ago, and I couldn't believe when I heard this story. Now, I did mention this last week about Alberto Del Rio. They were trying to sign Alberto Del Rio to a deal to appear at the TV tapings in New York City at the Manhattan Center. Which, man, I love that venue from back in the day of the old Raws. But I hear this story that apparently they put a feeler out to sign a major former WWE star and WWE Hall of Famer. Now, apparently, it never got to the stage where they were negotiating for money. But for what I've been reading, I couldn't believe when I seen this. That apparently TNA were trying to reach out to try and bring in this person to be what Kurt Angle's basically doing now, their head of their authority figure on screen. They reached out to try and bring in Edge. Yeah, that's right, Edge. Apparently TNA put out some feelers to try and get a deal or even a meeting set up with Edge to try and bring in Edge to be the authority figure. Now, Edge and Christian were on TV the other week on WWE. That's what led to the authority coming back on the TV again. I think Edge looks great. I've watched a few episodes of his program Haven, which with obviously Christian's and I in it as well. But TNA, Edge and TNA, I really couldn't see that happening. Again, never say never in the professional wrestling business, but Edge and TNA, well, I really couldn't see Adam Copeland. He's obviously busy with Haven and all, but obviously TNA's schedule's very light, and I don't know. Could you guys really see Edge and TNA? Really? Let us know your thoughts. Send us a tweet, send us a Facebook message or an email out to theropes@yahoo.com. I don't know, guys. Edge and TNA, I really couldn't see it, but I don't know. Staying on TNA, everybody obviously sent out a tweet and messages and pictures and stuff of Jeff Hardy taking a major bump. So we say, what a coincidence! It's January time for the TNA UK tour. Jeff Hardy took an extreme fall in the cage match at a tapings in New York City. everywhere. It was apparently on TMZ as well. Catherine was telling me today. The head of production was telling me today. Okay. TNA, well, Jeff Hardy is now off TV for a while. What a coincidence is it's the UK tour and he's not allowed inside the UK. I wonder why. Yeah, same thing every year. Guys, TNA, I'll say to you, wrestling fans are not stupid nowadays. They know that he's not allowed in the UK. Anyway, but yes, moving on, staying on TNA, the TNA champion, Bobby Lashley, is reportedly to be injured. We don't know the extent of his injury, but apparently his MMA fight recently was told to stop because of his injury. But he did work the 3 TNA tapings in New York. But from what we've been reading yesterday, apparently Bobby Lashley is still injured. Whether he's going to have to drop the title, come off TV, or still work hurt, we don't know. We'll keep an eye on TNA's website regarding details for that. But reportedly, TNA champion Bobby Lashley is injured. So, what's your thoughts on Bobby Lashley as a champion? I mean, obviously he quit the WWE back in the day. Everybody knows that he quit the WWE because of the travel schedule. He's done MMA fighting. He's been in TNA twice. I don't know, but I had an interesting email I was reading through today on our computer screen here before I sat down the night before we went on the air. A fan was saying, "What's your guys' thoughts on TNA as rebranding with Josh Matthews and Taz and all those guys?" And I'm like, okay. I like the wrestling concept of it, but the fact that it looks like something from, like, the arena's empty. You know, brighten the place up, guys. Make it look presentable. Present the product. This is the type of generation that you're living in now. You're not wrestling in a smoky old hall, you know, from back in the days of the old NWA and stuff like that. You know, fans go now and they want to see, I know that's just a younger generation nowadays, but they want to see, I mean, me personally, I enjoyed the old stuff, like, but people want to see, like, big LED screens, and they want to see the place lit up with all different coloured lights, and especially the younger audience now, they're attracted to wrestling by the whole, you know, look of the show. When I watched TNA from Manhattan Center, it was just like a big dark arena with the lights just on the ring. A lot of people do. I like that personally. Well, I do like it in a way, but you got to look at what type of audience you have nowadays. People turn up at the arenas and they want to see, like, stages. For example, WWE live events, they up their game and their production and all for live events, presenting LED screens, and it's obviously WWE have the money to do that. I understand that, but you know, the new way TNA looks, I don't really see much change in it. But that's just my concept on it. I mean, I've watched a couple of matches recently, and I think Josh Matthews and Taz are doing a pretty good job on commentary. But why the hell did Jeremy Borash shave his head this week? I just remembered that. Why the hell did Jeremy Borash shave his head? I'm not even going to get into it. Seriously, I'm not going to get into it. I can't give up. Anyway, let's go back to what I said here at the start of the show. We put a question out to you guys this past week. What was your favourite moment in WWE in 2014? Now, Catherine has handed me a few messages, should we say. Obviously, you fans have been tweeting out and stuff over the last few days, which I'm going to get here now because I've got my production sheet and all here in front of me. Excuse me. Apologies, guys, as my throat is still killing me. I may still try and do that Macho Man impression. I don't know. But yes, we asked you guys the other day, you know, what was your favourite moment in WWE in 2014? Now, I'm looking through Twitter here first of all. I'll start off with a guy we got a tweet in there yesterday from Cody Collar saying Daniel Bryan winning the big one at WrestleMania 30 was his favourite moment. That was a big moment, no question about it. That was a big moment, especially leading into WrestleMania. Let's go back to like the Royal Rumble last year, where Daniel Bryan wasn't even in the Rumble, and a lot of fans were pissed off because he wasn't in that Royal Rumble match, and they thought he wasn't going to get into the title match at WrestleMania. But that was like a twist to try and make when the payoff at WrestleMania happened, to make it that much more special, and it worked. It delivered well, and yeah, it was definitely one of the biggest moments of the year, no question about it. I'll try and pronounce this guy. Stuart Askiner, I think it is. Akister. Do apologise for not reading it. It says Stone Cold, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan being back at WrestleMania together in the ring at the same time. Stuart, that was an absolutely epic moment. Nobody expected that, especially at the start of WrestleMania 30. I mean, yes, Hogan came out, he was the host, and he thought he was still in the Silverdome. Every time I watch that back, I still laugh. But yeah, I mean, that moment was just epic. I mean, nobody expected that. I mean, people did expect maybe the three of them to turn up, sorry, at WrestleMania at some point, but not actually to be in the ring at the same time to start the WrestleMania pay-per-view, which was epic. The fans were stunned, shocked, entertained. They got their money's worth. As JBL said on commentating after the left the ring, I'm done. I've got my entertainment's worth. I got my money's worth tonight. Those three in the ring at the same time, priceless, absolutely priceless. I think the last time the three of them were in the ring was whenever the NWO was about in WWE, 2002 maybe. I can't maybe, but it was a great moment. Sure, no question about it. Stephen Smith sent us a wee tweet as well saying, I personally like this one. Says John Cena eating suplexes at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. Okay, Stephen, that was a great moment. A lot of non-John Cena fans and a lot of Cena haters loved that match. I was surprised how dominant Brock was in that match that night, with Cena being such the superhero and such a Vince McMahon guy. For Brock to dominate him so bad that night, it was surprising, but it was a great moment because Brock Lesnar basically came in. What a year Brock Lesnar's had in WWE for all the little appearances that he's been there. I mean, all the beatdowns that he's given. Let's start back the Royal Rumble. He destroyed the Big Show. He defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, which nobody expected to happen. He won the WWE World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam against the biggest name in the company with ease. You know, he's done so many things this year. It's been a big year for Brock Lesnar in WWE. So yeah, I would agree with you, Stephen. To some aspect, that was quite entertaining. One of the biggest moments of the year. We've had one here from a guy called KH, but his Twitter name's @SlimShady808, saying Cesaro winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that was another big moment. No question about it. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal for WrestleMania 30. Damn, that was a big trophy, and it's gone. Why did they smash it up? Really? It reminds me of Bret Hart and Bad News Brown from WrestleMania, when Bret won the battle, or was it Bad News won the battle royal? Yeah, Bad News won the battle royal and Bret Hart broke up the damn trophy. What's the point of having the trophy, especially a trophy? Hopefully they have a replica of it, or a copy of it, and they can actually keep it, and Cesaro, whether they got to keep it or they've kept it at the headquarters, because it was a classic looking trophy. Big statue of Andre with the ring around him, and it looked like it weighed a ton, but yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, but Cesaro again, the show of strength to win the battle royal by lifting the Big Show and dumping him over the top rope, which was very impressive as well. Let's go on to our Facebook and answer a couple of Facebook answers as well. Mick Colin says, Ultimate Warrior without a shadow without going into the Hall of Fame this year. It was the biggest moment, especially over the whole thing regarding the Ultimate Warrior. I think what he actually means, well, he did say Warrior without a shadow without Hall of Fame legend. Yeah, Hall of Fame, and obviously a big moment as well this year was that, unfortunately, on the Tuesday after WrestleMania, that Warrior passed away, which was I still can't believe it happened. It was such a surreal 5 days, maybe. It was just, it was exciting for it to be all built up to be so good, and so everybody's like, yes, the Warriors finally get into the Hall of Fame. But like Randy Savage this year, Randy Savage got into the Hall of Fame. About time WWE's done it, you know. And for Warrior to actually be on that stage and walk out that stage with his daughters and do that speech, and to watch it and feel what he was, you know, how he was feeling, and then to be on Raw the next night, and for to say what he said. And then the next day he dies. It was just it was shocking. I'll never forget that morning waking up, knowing the news that he was away. It was just like, are you serious? The guy was on TV like a day ago on Raw, talking, then you watch back the special on the network of him where he turns around when he's leaving the building saying, "The future's looking bright. I'm looking forward to the future." You know, but that was definitely a big moment in WWE history this year, or for 2014. I would definitely agree with you. Mick, thanks very much for your message on Facebook there. Jonathan Beggs sent us a Facebook message as well saying Jack Swagger's face turn, really unexpected, and I marked out. Big Jack Swagger fan, I take it. I'm joking. I'm kidding. Jack Swagger, great talent, great wrestler from start to finish. Great wrestler, great performer. Why he's not being used more, I'll never know. You know, but yeah, I mean, Jack Swagger is a face at the minute. Is he getting over really at the end of the day as a face? I really don't know. It's all down to the way that WWE's booking him, of course, but I don't know. I was a surprise to see him turn face. But like Cesaro, sure. Cesaro got a big pop at WrestleMania. He split from Swagger, and then a few weeks later they turned him back heel again. What are they doing? What are WWE doing? I really don't know. But yeah, it was a surprise. But personal opinion, I don't think it was one of the biggest moments of the year, but it was a big moment. Don't get me wrong. Sure. Let's go on to a couple of our emails now. Thanks for your message, by the way, Jonathan, and obviously your regular Facebook comments. Thank you very much for supporting the show as always. Let's have a wee look here. Here we go. One here from Susan. Sorry, I clicked the email there and went back to the wrong page there because I'm looking on the computer screen here in front of me. Susan from, where's she from? Oh, would you believe it? Susan from France. I'm getting a look here from Catherine. Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. Apparently it was sent. Her name is Suzanne or Susan. She's from France. And apparently it was sent in French, and Kat had to translate it on Google Translator. There you go. Let's have a read here. It says, "Hi guys, just listened to the show for the first time." I'm trying to read this here. Okay. Her biggest moment of 2014 was to find out the news, the shock of CM Punk leaving WWE. That's pretty much what it says. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening to us all the way in France. Didn't even know we had listeners in France. I know we have listeners in America and stuff, but countries like France and stuff I didn't know, but she must have found us on iTunes. Anyway, thank you for your message. But yes, that was a shocker for 2014 to hear that CM Punk walked out of the company. That was a shocking turn of events. Now same with UFC. So yeah, thank you very much for your message. It was a shocking moment, should we say, in history. So it was. So there you go. Let's have another one here. One from Robert from Scotland, in Scotland. Hello Robert, how are you? Thanks for your email. On outsidetheropes@yahoo.com. The shocking moment for this year was the Shield splitting up, as he was heartbroken. I was surprised how they done it. And he also asked at the end, do you think the Shield will ever get back together again? Yeah, that wasn't quite a big surprise. I mean, I always thought the Shield eventually would disband and go elsewhere, but I didn't think it would do it the way they done it. You know, and would they ever get back together again? I would think so. I mean, yeah, Evolution get back together, DX get back together, the NWO get back together. Don't see the reason why they shouldn't get back together. I read this about shortly after this, but apparently Triple H would like to get them back together again eventually down the line. I don't know when, I don't know how, but with WWE, you never know. But yes, I would like to see them, because I enjoyed the Shield. I thought the Shield were great. Great group, great faction, entertaining, dominant. You know, so yeah, I would definitely like to see the Shield get back together. But the way they split it up, yeah, I would say it was a shocking moment because nobody seen it coming. It was well booked by WWE, so yeah, I would say interesting. So it is very, very interesting. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for your emails and obviously your Facebook and Twitter emails and tweets. Sorry, don't forget to get in touch with us once again on Twitter at Outside the Rope, no S in the end, Outside the Rope, and on Facebook Outside the Ropes Wrestling Talk Show and Outside the Ropes at yahoo.com on email. I have been asked quite a bit, guys, do we want to ever have a website open again? We did have a website open there about a year or so ago, but we never had enough time and the bodies in the studio to do it. We've been talking in recent meetings as well about opening a website as well. Like we'll fire up recent news and a link to our Twitters and Facebooks and news fed straight from there to the website and stuff like that. We've been talking about that, doing a website over the last sort of few weeks and stuff. So yeah, hopefully in the next while or so on down the road, we'll get a website open again and hopefully try and get someone in to do it, because obviously we're all busy with our other jobs and radio shows and all different bits and bobs as well. So yeah, hopefully soon, guys, we'll hopefully have our own website as well. So yeah, stay tuned for the Outside the Ropes website. Okay. Moving to the final segment of this week's show. Can't believe we're coming to the end already. I hope I haven't bored you too much this week, guys, because I am shooting for myself here. But yeah, it's now time for the segment that we all love. I know Tony's not here to say it, but he's not here. But what can you do? We've had some suggestions in this week, but we've came to the conclusion. It's now time for the segment that we all love. It's now time for the Outside the Ropes Jackass of the Week segment. Don't you just love the sound of a donkey? Not really. Okay, guys. After obviously reading all your tweets and Facebook messages and emails, as always, you can send down your suggestions in for Jackass of the Week every week. And obviously after our wonderful production meeting today, which I thoroughly enjoyed today, because our head of production, Catherine, brought us in some lovely shortbread. Yes, shortbread. She must have brought it in, must have been left over after Christmas. So she brought us in a lovely box of shortbread to have with our tea today, as the warm is up, as the weather outside is atrocious. It's cold, it's wet, the snow, well, not wet, sorry, it's cold, it's miserable, and the snow's on its way. Yeah, so there you go. She brought us in shortbread. Thank you very much for your shortbread. Very much appreciative. So, the decision has been made after the production meeting today that the Outside the Ropes Jackass, I'm getting dirty looks here from Catherine through the production window, the Outside the Ropes Jackass of the week for this week is, Catherine, can I get a drum roll please? The Outside the Ropes Jackass of the week for this week is Jeff Hardy. And the reason why Jeff Hardy's Jackass of the week, and you probably know fine rightly why, because the Fool is banned from the UK. He thinks he can fool the fans every January, knowing because the UK tour is coming up, by getting injured. So he done his stupid fall, almost killing himself, and made himself look like a jackass again. So the Outside the Ropes Jackass of the week for this week is TNA star and wrestler Jeff Hardy. There you go. Anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of this week's segment. Just before I go, I want to make some announcements. As always, guys, as I said at the start of the show, if you are historians of professional wrestling, don't forget to check out our good friends and partners of the show, Wrestling's Past. Go to our website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter at Wrestling's Past to check out all the old stories and archive photographs from the past. Some of the photographs on their Twitter are unreal. They are super photographs from back in the day. They have even daily tweets called On This Day, so you'll get to find out what happened on this date of a certain year or on a day. So check them out on Twitter at Wrestling's Past. Also, our friends at British Wrestling Radio. Haven't given them guys a shout out tonight. I want to say hello to them. They've got a couple of new guys on board as well on their show. Check out their website, bwrradio.com, and also on their Twitter and Facebook accounts as well. Our friends, tickets for our friends Pro Wrestling Ulsters, big event coming up on, I think it's 1st of February, at the Europa Hotel in Belfast, featuring former WWE star Al Snow. Tickets are still available. Go to their website, prowrestlingulster.co.uk for all information. And also our great friend Steve Muldoon and his promotion, wrestling.ie, for all their upcoming big shows across Ireland, South and North. That's www.wrestling.ie and ticketmaster.ie for all ticket information for wrestling.ie. Also, our friends at Over the Limit Wrestling, which is down south, which is a wrestling promotion for over 18s only, which is in connection with Mainstage Wrestling. Go to their Facebooks and stuff like that, and also their website, and get all their information for Mainstage Wrestling and Over the Top Wrestling. Which Over the Top Wrestling, we've shared a couple of their videos on our Facebook. Great shows if you're into all that over 18s non-PG wrestling shows. that's the place to go in Ireland, guys. Also, our friends at Fight Factory Pro Wrestling as well. I want to give a big shout out to them too as well. And also Celtic Championship Wrestling down there too as well. Also, I want to give a wee quick shout out for our friend who was on the show a lot of weeks ago, independent wrestler Damien Corvin. He has just released a new t-shirt, so if you want to go and have a look at his Twitter and Facebook account, mostly on Facebook, just search Damien Corvin. You can find all the information there. We're going to share some of his stuff on our page probably today, if we can. So a new t-shirt for independent wrestling star Damien Corvin, as he is very generously retweets all our shows and spreads the word for Outside the Ropes every week amongst the wrestling community here in Ireland. So I want to give a big shout out to Damien Corvin as well. So guys, it's going to bring us to the end of this week's edition of Outside the Ropes. Big thank you for downloading us on iTunes this week. Keep spreading the word, tell your friends. If you want to be a guest in the show via Skype, you can certainly do that, because we're looking to get more people involved. We have been talking to some independent wrestlers, as we did say last week. We've been talking to some independent wrestlers across the planet over the last few days. So we're hopefully trying to get a few interviews lined up in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. So guys, for myself in the studio, a very lonely Matthew Muir here in the studio. Still no co-host this week. And obviously everybody from the Outside the Ropes team, a big thank you for tuning in this week. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, whatever you're up to. And until next Wednesday, have a great week. And until then, we will see you all then.